In the year when ABBA was created, Agnetha was starring in Jesus Christ Superstar. Agnetha was entangled in a plagiarism controversy over her song Om Tra Vor Guld in the early 1970s, If Tears Were Gold. She reached an out-of-court settlement with a composer who accused her of plagiarizing a song from his unreleased music from decades ago. Agnetha, on the other hand, was unfazed, and in 1972 she joined the Swedish cast of Jesus Christ Superstar. She portrayed Mary Magdalene, the musical's female lead and Jesus' confidant. Although the event only lasted 5 days, it was seen by 74,000 people in Gothenburg. This Swedish staging was one of the first international performances of the now famous rock opera. The first band Benny worked with was dubbed the Swedish Beatles. ABBA was not Andersson's first meeting with the Swedish music industry. Before joining ABBA, Andersson was a member of the successful Swedish group the Hep Stars. He had been a part of the successful pop group as a keyboard player and lyricist since he was 18 years old. In 1966, the group had 3 #1 hits in Sweden, earning them the nickname the Swedish Beatles. Björn began his musical career as a member of the Hootenanny Singers, a prominent Swedish folk skiffle band. He became the group's lead singer and guitarist at the age of 18, and the group was renamed Northern Lights when it issued an LP in the United States. Friendly competitor band the Hep Stars, where Benny Andersson was also launching his musical career, were familiar with the Hootenanny Singers. Björn performed with the Hep Stars on multiple occasions, and Benny joined the Hootenanny Singers on stage as well. He pushed the two to collaborate on music. The Hep Stars recorded their first co-written song, Isn't It Easy to Say? Anni-Frid thought that her father was killed in the war. Anni-Frid Lyngstad was born as a result of her Nordic mother's passionate involvement with her German soldier father. Lyngstad was persuaded to believe that her father, Alfred Hass, had died on his way back to Germany from Norway after hearing that his ship had sunk. Lyngstad's mother, Sinni, died of kidney failure when she was just 21 years old, leaving her daughter to be raised in Sweden by her grandmother. Lyngstad was certain she had been abandoned as a child. That all changed in 1977, when Lyngstad's entire biography, including her mother and father's names, was revealed in the German youth magazine Bravo. When Lyngstad's half-brother Peter Hass saw this, he asked his father if he'd ever been stationed in Norway during the war, and he said yes. A few months later, Lyngstad ran across Hass for the first time in Stockholm, and the two reconnected. The band's first name was Party People. It's difficult to imagine ABBA going by another name now, but the band's name was in flux for a long time during the start of their career. Festfolk, which translates to party people in Swedish, was the name given to the group that would later become ABBA. Later, fans were given the opportunity to choose the group's name through a competition, with Alibaba, Fab, and Babu all being popular choices. In the end, the competition's results were ignored, and the group unanimously opted to go with ABBA. The group's name, Agnetha, Björn, Benny, and Anni-Frid, is an abbreviation of each member's first name. When the gang realized that ABBA was also the name of a Swedish fish company, they got into some trouble. Fortunately, the problem was swiftly rectified, and they were given permission to use the name. The UK gave ABBA no points in the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest. The winning performance of ABBA at the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest is undoubtedly the most memorable Eurovision performance of all time. Waterloo, their winning song, was even chosen the finest ever song performed on the European contest in May 2020. The UK, on the other hand, appears to have been skeptical of the group at initially, awarding the Swedish foursome 0 points, or 0 points in 1974. In 1974, the voting rules were a little different. Each country was given only 10 points, which the UK decided to distribute among Italy, Israel, Finland, Ireland, and Switzerland. ABBA had no idea until recently, and they voiced their surprise during the opening of an ABBA International exhibit in London in 2000. Ulvaeus remarked, "All these years, I thought the Brits were our best pals." It didn't matter that the UK was frugal with their scores in the end, for ABBA went on to win the competition with a total of 24 points. Their outrageous outfits were chosen for tax purposes. If ABBA is known for anything other than their extremely catchy pop tunes, it's for their trademark on-stage ensembles. Their glitzy clothes, platform heels, and flared pants are instantly recognizable, and the band has been a popular Halloween costume for decades. However, the reason ABBA chose such outfits may surprise you, as it had nothing to do with standing out on stage or following a fashion trend. Instead, due to a specific quirk in Swedish tax rules, the band chose outfits that they could never wear in their everyday life. According to Swedish law, costumes can be written off for tax purposes as long as they could never be classified as day wear. In the 70s, ABBA were Sweden's second biggest export. Following ABBA's performance at the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest, David Vine noted that Sweden had never won the competition before, but ABBA's performance put them in strong stead. ABBA went on to win the tournament for Sweden, as we all know. Not only that, but they also helped to boost the GDP of their native country. ABBA's popularity was so widespread that the group brought in millions of krona for Sweden during their heyday in the 1970s. Only Volvo, the popular Swedish car manufacturer and the Scandinavian country's greatest money maker, came in second. In a 2013 interview with the Financial Times, Bjorn Ulvaeus highlighted what he believes is the key to the company's success. Swedish radio would play a huge mix of Italian ballads, French chansons, and German Schlager. What comes out in ABBA is a mashup of all of that, which makes it foreign and unlike anything that would have come out of an English or American pen. The guys once went out on a risque night with Led Zeppelin. You certainly don't think of ABBA and Led Zeppelin when you think of popular 70s and 80s musicians who were definitely hanging out together in their spare time. As a result, Led Zeppelin recorded their final album at ABBA's Polar Music Studios in Stockholm, and the two bands later collaborated in the late 1970s. In a 2015 interview with Louder Sound, Jimmy Page expressed sorrow that he never got to meet Falskog at this period. He remarked, "I was expecting we'd get to meet Agnetha, but it wasn't part of the agreement." During Led Zeppelin's time in Sweden, lead vocalist Robert Plant also claims to have partied with the ABBA. Plant said on a Swedish TV show that he took the two guys to a sex club so they could allegedly get away from their wives. Plant's allegations have always been refuted by ABBA representatives, who claim that no members of the group ever went to a sex club with him. Fans had to enter a lottery to get tickets for ABBA's 1977 London tour. Trying to get concert tickets for popular musicians may still feel like a lottery, even in the digital age. The Birmingham Odeon hosted the first show of ABBA's 1977 UK tour, and tickets were as scarce as gold dust. The facility could only hold 2,500 people, yet 50,000 people applied for tickets, preventing many fans from seeing the band perform. It wasn't much better when it came to getting tickets for the band's 2 shows at the Royal Albert Hall in London. 3.5 million people tried to buy tickets for the 2 Albert Hall shows, which would have filled the auditorium 580 times. Not only that, but anybody who wanted a ticket had to fill out an application, and only a small percentage of those who applied received one. They didn't have a #1 album in the United States until after they split up. ABBA was a worldwide sensation in the 1970s, yet they never managed to top the American charts. In comparison to the band's popularity in Europe and Australia, the band's impact in the United States was very minor. When ABBA, the album was published, it only charted at number 14 in the United States, making it the highest charting ABBA album in the country during their time together. ABBA's classics only began to circulate again with the publication of Mamma Mia, several years after the group had broken up. After the release of their compilation album ABBA Gold in 2008, the group finally achieved #1 in the American charts. The album has sold 5.8 million copies in the United States, making it the 19th best-selling greatest hits album since 1991. They're incredibly selective about who gets to sample their music. Many artists and groups guard their work, but ABBA has earned a reputation for being exceptionally picky about who is allowed to use their songs. They notably sued the KLF in 1987 for using a portion from Dancing Queen without permission. They also only let Madonna use a sample from Gimme Gimme Gimme, A Man After Midnight, after she wrote them a personal letter. She gently requested to utilize the sample in the letter, expressing her admiration for the band and her goals with their music. In their song Rumble in the Jungle, the Fugees sampled ABBA's song The Name of the Game. The Fugees and Madonna are the only 2 musicians who have ever been granted permission to sample the formidable Swedish band's sound. More Australians watched the ABBA TV special in 1976 than the moon landing. ABBA is currently regarded as one of the most well-known pop groups of all time. They've always had a lot of international praise, in particular, they've had a lot of success in Australia. Surprisingly, more Australians tuned in to watch ABBA's 1976 Australian TV special than to watch the moon landing in 1969. The band was overwhelmed by the reception they got when they arrived in Australia for a countrywide tour a year later, in 1977. In a 2017 interview with Good Weekend, Lyngstad said, "I remember being pretty exhausted after a 20-plus hours long travel." Lyngstad was taken aback by the number of admirers that greeted them at Sydney Airport. "It was beyond our wildest dreams. Overwhelming." The best song ABBA had ever done. Most people consider Dancing Queen to be the definitive ABBA song, with catchy lyrics, powerful piano riffs, and stunning vocals from the group's leading ladies. The song was even deemed the best pop song ever by music critic Tim Jones in The Guardian in 2016. With its profoundly nostalgic feel, it's enough to transport anyone to a 1970s disco and bring a tear to your eye. Lyngstad described being filled with emotion after hearing her bandmate and husband play the track's backing music to The Guardian in 2014. "That was before me and Agnetha had even performed a song. I knew it was the best song ABBA had ever written." The ABBA hit Money 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 has been voted the greatest song about currency. Money Money Money, originally titled Been and Gone and Done It, was a #1 success in Australia, France, and Mexico when it was published in 1976. Despite her hard labor, the lyrics convey the story of a woman who is in debt. The song continues to resonate with many people. In 2019, the website Ranker rated it the most popular song concerning personal money. This list of the 100 most popular songs about money was generated by Ranker using audience votes. Kanye West's Gold Digger, at number 10, Madonna's Material Girl, at number 7, and Pink Floyd's Money were among the financial songs that were pipped to the post by Money Money Money, in third place. Meryl Streep's character in the film Mamma Mia famously sings Money 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 as she laments the lack of finances at her Greek taverna. Anni-Frid became a princess after ABBA. Anni-Frid decided to leave Sweden a year after her high-profile divorce from her bandmate Benny in 1981. Anni-Frid resided in London for a while before moving to Switzerland with her new boyfriend, Prince Heinrich Kruse of Rus. His 4 heirs came from Germany's erstwhile sovereign House of Rus. After the First World War, they lost power but kept their royal titles. The couple resided in the family's Fribourg castle. Prince Heinrich worked as an architect in addition to his royal duties. In August 1992, Princess Anni-Frid of Rus, Countess of Plauen married Prince Heinrich, and the ABBA singer became Princess Anni-Frid of Rus, Countess of Plauen. 5 years into their marriage, Prince Heinrich died of cancer. There were no offspring between the two of them. In Sweden, you can stay in an ABBA-themed hotel. ABBA, the museum, located on Björkön Island in Stockholm, Sweden, provides an interactive experience for fans. It began welcome tourists in 2008, following the success of Liverpool's Beatles Museum. You may dress up in ABBA costumes and sing along to their tunes, eat at an ABBA-themed restaurant, or see ABBA documentaries at the museum's cinema. There's also a self-playing piano linked to Benny's personal piano. Anytime Benny plays his piano, the self-playing piano duplicates him note for note. Fans may even stay in the museum's ABBA-themed Pop House Hotel for a vacation. The ABBA Gold Suite is decorated with gold and platinum records. There are also Greek rooms inspired by Mamma Mia.